Let's get started. Actually, we're 36 minutes to go. But I'm going to start the stream so that I can get ready. Oh, wow. I got quality options. I can actually test to see if I'm in sync. Actually, looks like it's in sync. I'm waiting to see if it... Up. Yeah, it looks like it's in sync for me. Nice. So whatever problem I had yesterday with audio video sync is gone today. All right. Okay, so what am I going to do for 35 minutes? I guess as we wait for people to join in, I'm going to look at the practice problem I did yesterday, which is from Advent of Code 2016, and clean it up a little bit. Someone in chat said something before I ended the stream that I didn't even see, and that it was how to do this inner break without having this flag and then this check and then another break. So it was something that I actually didn't remember until they pointed it out, that you can name your loops. So I can actually get rid of this variable and get rid of this check and get rid of setting this and just say break outer. So much more elegant. Hey there, TS Just. How are you today? Just cleaning up my practice problems. The other thing I thought about was that we can reduce this to a list of 4 elements that we rotate through. We can just arrange them so that they're like clockwise, and then a right turn can go forward and a left turn can go backward in the list. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. I guess I should be conscious about this common stuff between parts could be refactored into functions. Depends on how fast I am at extracting functions versus copy paste. Let me just make sure that I know how to run this stuff. So cargo run practice 2. I have to say bin. Okay, it's not bin. Oh, I know why. See, this is why I work out the kinks before the clock starts, right? It's from this directory I run practice 2. That's right. Hey there, C17R. Greetings, program. Who is the other stream that you're watching? Is it like, who else would be doing this? Would it be C17R, who's also doing a Twitch stream for AOC? 166 was the right answer, right? I guess I can just do this. Git stash, run it again, make sure the answer doesn't change. Git stash pop. Well, Locks Music, don't know that one. Unlock Party? Wow, that looks way more professional than mine. Streaming music? Hey, there we go. Is it just music? Then the music can accompany my stream. All right. Okay, how are we doing on time? We have 32 minutes. Let me refresh that to make sure it's right. Yep.
Pokemon time?
Okay, how is the audio video sync? Are we in sync? I think we are. Because I checked earlier. Because I saw I had quality options and I played myself and it looked fine. No, but good enough? Wait a minute. What do you mean no? When I played it was fine. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like it's perfectly in sync to me. The clap was, well, that might be because the frame rate's weird. See how my hand is actually not a hand, but it's a flipper because of the 20 frames per second of the camera. Such a sudden thing, yeah. I realized that when I watched the VOD yesterday. I'm like, yeah, the clapping thing would be good for a AV sync test if I was at 60 frames per second, but at 20, nah, not so good. I really need like a rotating circle that beeps when it gets to the top. Anyway, I think we're good. I suppose I should just commit this and then revert it. Oh yeah, something that's different from when I last streamed coding. I'm no longer using all of the Git command line tools. I'm doing some of it in VS Code. So like staging files, I do still do the git commit because I haven't found an equivalent button here. But I have it so that it opens it back up in VS Code, and I can say something like clean up, move my cursor out of the current clean up extra break from practice. Save that and automatically finishes the commit. And then I can also, this is cool, I can look at this and I can say, actually I'm not going to commit it. I mean revert. I was about to revert, but you know, I can just make a new commit where I just delete practice. It's gone. Remove practice. Actually, while I'm here, let's set up day 1. Day 1. All right, we'll just copy day 0 to day 1. And then, I don't know. Let's try to guess what the answer is going to be. Let's say the answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because you never know, it might be. But because it's Rust, and the way I have set it up, it's an owned string, we have to return something that's owned. All right, let me make sure this runs. Git run, or cargo run, puzzle 1 dash, or just 1 dash 1, right? Oh, I probably didn't put it in main. Yeah. See, this is why set up in advance. 1. There we go. So fancy. Unimplemented. I prefer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but unimplemented would work too. Are you going to be able to solve both puzzles in 5 seconds, like the speed coders? They're not weird. They're just highly trained. And the answer is no. There's no way I hope to compete with them. Into everywhere? Do you guys prefer into other than to owned? To owned I like because it reinforces the concept that string is an owned type. And like static string is a borrowed type. So there I wouldn't need to own it. But yeah, I guess you're right. Into will work because it figures, oh, there's an implementation of the into trait for string given a borrowed string. Hey there, A squared. You prefer into or to string? I guess everyone has their own preferences. I'm a fan of to owned though. But I guess because to owned is very explicit, the borrowed type string has a pair, like has one type which is the owned equivalent of it, whereas into I would have to make this type would have to match, right? I could put like thingy, and this would still work as long as thingy had an into implementation or a from implementation. From shared string to thingy, right? But to owned wouldn't work with thingy because the owned type of borrowed string is capital string. I don't know. It's almost a philosophical debate at that point, right? To owned is greater than to string, which is greater than into. See, I kind of agree with Egoist. Just personal preference, but I'm not going to say one thing is right and one thing is wrong. Into is fewer key support source, that is true. But all I actually typed was TO_O, enter. That's the same number of keystrokes as INTO, enter. Actually, if I just typed in, actually it would have been just I and then enter. Touche. Type from is the only real way to do it. From and into are the flip side of each other, right? Say, yeah, we could say string from that. What's the most bizarre way to do it? Like something with a turbo fish in it. I can't think. I'm actually pretty weak when it comes as far as turbofish. Oh, there we go. Egoist beat me to it. Yeah, so the left-handed turbofish. I mean, when I see it written, it kind of makes sense. But I had to copy from what Egoist wrote because I have yet to master the left-handed turbofish. And I think I'm gonna have to make a special YouTube video just about the turbofish, and I'll have to do a lot of prep work because I am by no means a master at the turbofish. Fully qualified syntax, that's right. Don't let that compiler infer anything. Be explicit. All right. I have enough time where maybe I could do another practice one from like, I don't know, day 2 of 2016 or something like that. I could just use this placeholder I have and do that right now, right? So another tab for 2016, day 2. Because I did day 1. If you missed it, I did day 1 yesterday during the practice run stream. 5 different ways to turn borrow strings to own strings. And is that including the copy on write, the cow, or not? Okay, so you arrive at... See, I don't know why, but I always have to read this out. I can't, like, skip to the puzzle, because I make mistakes if I don't read it out. You arrive at the Easter Bunny headquarters under cover of darkness. However, you left in such a rush that you forgot to use the bathroom. Fancy office buildings like this usually have a keypad lock in their bathroom, so you search the front desk for the code. In order to improve security, bathroom codes will no longer be written down. Instead, please memorize and follow the procedure below to access the bathrooms. Each button to be pressed can be found by starting on the previous button and moving to adjacent buttons on the keypad. U means up, D means down, L left, R right. Each line of instructions correspond to one button, starting at the previous button, or for the first line, the 5 button. Press whatever button you're on at the end of each line. If a move doesn't lead to a button, ignore it. You can't hold it much longer, so you decide to figure out the code as you walk to the bathroom. You picture a keypad like this. Suppose your instructions are up, left, left, right, right, down, down, down. You start the 5 move up to 2, left to 1, and left you can't, so you stay on the 1. So the first button is 1. Oh, I see. So if you hit a wall, you stop. Starting from the previous button, 1, you move twice to the right, to the 3, and then down twice to the 9, because you can't move a third time. Yeah, okay. So there are as many numbers as there are lines. Okay, so the way I'm going to try to do the puzzles this year is to take the example and code it as a test. And I didn't do it for this part 0, but I did it for the practice, right? Yeah, I did it like this. So I'm shamelessly stealing from the stage. Okay, and so it was 1985 for this one. I guess I can just encode the new lines. Undoubtedly, I'm going to run into multi-line input, and I need a good way to solve that. Okay, the other thing I did was I separated the power 1 from power 1 inner like this and had the actual puzzle input. Someone told me that I could use include string, and I guess I could try that. It's just then this becomes the name of a file. That's probably the way to go for this. Not for the test, but for the real input. So we would do something like this, right? Include string input. But it's going to be relative to the source directory, so I should probably just name it like 0.text or something. Or this, in this case, it's day 1, right? And then I actually need to have a file called 1.text. And let's keep it empty for now. All right, and then same thing here for part 2. And there's only one test for part 1. And we're going to run it. And we'll get that it's not the right answer. Because right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, thank you, Devil Squirrel. A Squared says, rostering literals with R hashtag double quote lit can be multi-line. True. Yeah, I think I'm going to read from the file because then I can just copy paste and not worry about the formatting. Can I automatically download the input file? Yeah, I heard that someone has made a crate that sort of automates everything to do with admin code. But that's okay. I can do a little bit of manual work. No big deal. Why does that work? I thought it's relative to the directory that the file is in. We'll find out. Actually, we did find out, right? If I name that A, then this won't compile, right? It actually will show me in the editor. Yeah, so it's relative to that source directory, not the cargo root. Yeah, Cargo AOC is the framework. AOCF supports downloading and submitting answers. Hey, I wonder if the speed coders do. They probably do use things like that. I don't know if any of them do it in Rust. Probably not, right? Think Rust supports new lines without Control N? You mean like I could probably just put that? But then, see, the Rust formatter gets really weird about it, right? Well, I guess it's just putting extra spaces in there. We could get away with this. We get rid of the spaces by doing that. But I don't know. I kind of, for the test, I kind of want to see where the new lines are. Call me old school. I don't know. Anyway, let me solve the problem. So, having our imaginary keypad where we're starting in the middle, we can just use coordinate. If we use coordinate, I was going to say we can just use X and Y coordinates, but I would need to be able to map that back to the keypad. I guess I could just encode the keypad. Keypad is an array of arrays of, I don't know, usize equal. Actually, I don't even need to. I do need to declare the type for constants, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then given our input, we want to divide that into lines. And for each line, we're going to get a character of our output, and then we're going to combine them together. So just doing them one step at a time. Let lines equal input dot lines, and then let output equal lines map to something, and then collect. I'm ending up doing the chaining even though I wanted to separate them, so I might as well just get rid of these intermediates and just say that. Can we not collect... Oh, I need to put something here. The letter X. Or how about just 1? So that should just give me 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah, okay. So then we actually need to do the real work here instead of just spitting out a 1. So the real work would be, we need to have some memory of where we are. So I'll just do this without really thinking much ahead of time, just thinking of coordinates, and then say for each line it's a series of up, down, left, or rights, right? So for a step in line.chars, match step up, and up would be like x equals or x dot saturating sub. No, what do I mean? Not x, y. Saturating sub 1. How am I doing on time? I don't want to like get caught up in this and then miss out. I should just have that page over here. Yeah, 15 minutes. Okay. Is that new? What is it that I missed that's new? Oh, the AOC. Yeah, the AOC driver is what I think you told me or someone else did yesterday, Nightshade Dune. USize. You guys don't like USize? I think I'm biased towards using USize because for many years I had this belief, I don't know what you call it, that unless you care about the number of bits, that it's foolish to actually specify them. So I always thought of like USize or size T in C++ as being an integer, an unsigned integer where I don't really care what the size is. Since then, I've sort of learned that I'm biased and that really the type is for when you need a value that describes either an amount of memory bytes or a number of elements in a list, something that has to do with storage and memory, because its size is aligned to the address space width. So it's like 32 bits on a 32-bit machine, 64 on a 64-bit machine, right? So I don't know, what would you guys pick? Like I32, I64? That's my problem. What do I pick here? So when I have decision paralysis for the size of my integers, I'm like, oh, screw it, just make it a USize. Specifically the pointer size integer, yes. You would just use U8. Now that's the minimalist. And sure, we can do that. I try to avoid that because in most cases you need numbers that are bigger than 256. Smallest valid value. But see, like, how do we know how big I guess in this case we know our keypad is going to be the numbers 1 to 9, or our dimensions are 0 to 2, so U8 is good enough. But like, if I was making a program in general and I don't know how big the numbers are going to have to be, I probably go with U64 because that's the biggest we can get, and it's probably not that bad performance-wise anyway. You don't want negative numbers or anything outside. Yeah, I mean, for saturating sub to work, why didn't it like saturating sub? It's ambiguous. Okay, well, let's make it non-ambiguous. Let's make it U8. Why don't we actually do better and we'll say the type dimension is a U8 and we'll make these dimensions. These aren't dimensions though. These are dimensions. This type is like a digit. Actually, then shouldn't we just use char? And then prefix all of these. Wouldn't that make more sense? Because we're going to be taking those characters and grabbing them and collecting them to make a string. There we go. Why did I do that? It's just, is it equal? Yeah. What's the point here? It should have up. It should? Alright, fine. Very picky about the capitalization. Saw that in Gamozo's Discord. Oh, the AOC driver? Yeah, I mean, I just didn't feel like using someone else's fancy thing when I could make my own. That's good enough for me. But more power to you if you want to. Yeah, this is meant for display because in my main program I just do a print line. Yes, I'm keeping it simple. So down would be not saturating add. Can I just use it would be nice if you could give it a limit like that. Is there one with max maybe or min? So I can say y equals 2 minimum y plus 1. Something like that. I don't know. That seems kind of weird, but that probably works, right? bounded integer crate. Integers have clamp? Oh, yeah. So, but it wouldn't look that much different, right? It would be like y plus 1, 2, right? Did I do that right? If self, actually no, I'd want to do something like this. But this looks cooler, doesn't it? I think that'll work. So then my left and right are really just... My up is like my left, only it's x. My right is like my down, only it's x. That clamps the first argument. But yeah, that's when before I rewrote it, right? I like to write all these as type op. Removes the weirdness with the placement of the arguments. I see what you mean. Rather than doing method syntax. Yeah, I always forget that. So I can do like, was it int min or u8 min 2y plus 1? Yeah, that actually does look a little bit better, doesn't it? The only problem is I have to actually use the type name there. Will it let me like infer the type name? Shouldn't it though? Shouldn't it infer the type name? I guess not, because... Well, no, min always takes two things of the same type. So it should be able to infer the type. Whatever. Let's stay rebellious, alright? So then we match it, and we want to, at the end, see what digit we're on, right? So that would be keypad yx, and what did I do wrong there? Cannot be you can't index it? Why not? Cannot be indexed by u8. Seriously, do I have to do it as usize? Well, there you go. That's why I should have used usize, not... There we go. I'm going to be indexing that anyway, so dimensions usize. There we go. Alright, what's wrong with my step? Oh, it's not exhaustive. Let's make it exhaustive by panicking. Bad input. No semicolon. Okay, it's telling me there's something I could do better here. Unused return value. Oh, shoot. I forgot to assign it back. For some reason, I thought it was a mutable method. I don't know why. Alright, let's see if I get the right answer. Yes. Okay, so then let's try with the real input. How much time do I have? I have 8 minutes left. Let's get my puzzle input. There's my puzzle input. We have this one.txt. I save that, and then I just close this and do cargo run 11. I get a very curious number, 65556. I have a feeling I have a bug. Let's see. No, I got the right answer. Not a bug. Can always do 2u8.min if you want. Yeah, but then again, I have to say the type. There should be a way where I can do it without saying the type, don't you think? Day one hasn't started yet. We have 7 minutes. So I'm doing practice by doing one from 2016. It says 2016 up here. This year we have, let me refresh to make sure. Yeah, we have a little bit more than 7 minutes to go.
Could you try again?
Siri thinks I'm talking to her.
I'm not sure I am.
I'm not talking to you, Siri. Go away. Should just turn my phone off. Actually, I tried to turn my phone off the other day, and it like turned itself on at some point, and then the battery ran out because I thought it was off. Yeah, they picked a number for me that looked like I had, like, that's really close to 2 to the power of 16, right? So I thought that I had like a bug or something. Anyway, I have 6.5 minutes. I can either BS for a bit, or I can continue to part 2. Let's see if part 2's... see, the site's already slowing down. People are like refreshing, thinking, oh, quick, I want to be first. I'm going to refresh, even though it's 6 minutes to go. I'm going to refresh. and I'm gonna be the first. Ever worried that Siri Alexa's gonna rise up and enslave you? A little bit, because the other day it was so loud it really scared me. Did they have a limit for submitting? No. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a poor substitute for Cherry Coke Zero. Can't find Cherry Coke Zero in my area, so I got the substitute from Albertsons. Up and down a bit? Yeah, so it's probably being DOS'd or people like hitting refresh constantly. You know, even though the dang thing has the timer. Hey, maybe just everyone's logging in right now to get the timer, and so it's just very popular now. Poor substitute. Yeah, I know. Part 2. You finally arrive at the bathroom and punch in the code. Much to your bladder's dismay, the keypad is not at all like you imagined it. Instead, you're confronted with the result of hundreds of man-hours of bathroom keypad design meetings. Okay. You still start at 5 and stop when you're at the edge, but given the same, the outcome is very different. You start at 5 and don't move at all. Up and left are both edges, ending at 5. So these don't change. They're just going through the example again, right? Okay, so then it's the same instructions. So I can just kind of copy my test. For part 2 has this same instructions, but the code is different. Okay, and then I think I'm just going to do this for the real puzzle. I got like 4 minutes. I can do this, right? I'm just going to be copy pasting from part 1 to part 2 probably a lot. Okay, and we just have different rules. You think the way I want to do this is I'm going to put special boundary characters in there to make it really easy on me. So let's call this keypad 1, and we'll make a keypad 2, which is 5 by 5. And so let's just put X characters in. What's wrong with your frames? Oh no, I dropped some frames. I dropped 450 frames. Hey, that's good. That dropping the frames now, it means I won't drop them later, right? X, and then 2, 3, 4, X. I gotta watch the clock now. I might have to like abort my practice run here because I'll run out of time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or then X, A, B, C, X. And then X, X, D, X, X. Too many commas there. That actually looks pretty geometric, doesn't it? All right, so then these become 4s. And I have to be a little bit more clever about this, right? Got 2.5 minutes. Maybe I should put a pause on this. Really, it should be if keypad 2 let ny, if keypad ny x is x, how about not equal to x, y equals ny, something like that, right? Do I have enough time? All right, and then copy this to here, only this is x instead of y. This is y and x, x, x. All right. I have some bug here. What did I do wrong? Nope. Just fooling me. I have 1.5 minutes to do this before the real puzzles begin. Y and x, x equals nx, keypad 2, collect, run the test. Failed. All right, so I didn't do it. Nope, no big deal. I'm out of time though. Oh, no, I do have a minute. I can try to figure out what I did wrong here. Oh, it restarted on the wrong square. We want to be at x0, y of 2. I have exactly 1 minute. I still fail. Oh, part 2 enter. There's always something. Okay, so then what's the real answer? Come down to the wire. There's my code. Input the code. Submit. Yes. All right, I did it with 30 seconds to spare. Okay, before I'm going to reuse this, so I should just check it in and git commit. Got 20 seconds to do this. Practice 2016 day 2 before 2020 day 1 started. Commit that. All right, now we're all set. 10 seconds. It's going to unlock, and along with everyone else, we're going to click the button, and it's going to do nothing, and then time out, and then we'll have to refresh. All right? Puzzle 1. You're minding your own business on a ship at sea when the overboard alarm goes off. You rush to see if you can help. Apparently, one of the elves tripped and accidentally sent the sleigh keys flying into the ocean. Before you know it, you're inside a submarine the elves keep ready for situations like this. It's covered in Christmas lights, because of course it is. And it even has an experimental antenna. You should be able to track the keys if you can boost its signal strength high enough. There's a little meter that indicates the antenna's signal strength by displaying 0 to 50 stars. Your instincts tell you that in order to save Christmas, you'll need to get all 50 stars by December 25th. So it's because... Oh, the sleigh keys. Okay, yeah, very important keys. Oh, both are already solved? Are you serious, TS Just? Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day of Advent. Yeah, so it's just telling us how Advent code works. If you're wondering what the heck this is, Advent code, there's a link. We're solving 2 programming puzzles each day, December 1st to 25th, adventcode.com, and anybody can do it. Any language. Let's go. So, as the submarine drops below the surface of the ocean, it automatically performs a sonar sweep of the nearby seafloor. On the small screen, the sonar sweep report, the puzzle input appears. Each line is a measurement of the seafloor depth as the sweep looks further and further away from the submarine. For example, suppose you had the following report. So I'm going to make my test and put that in there. And just because to save some time, let's put some backslashes in there. Oh, it looks ugly. Can I just tab that over? That looks passable. This report indicates that scanning outward from the submarine, the sonar sweep found depths, those different depths. The first order of business is figure out how quickly the depth increases, just so you know what you're dealing with. You never know if the keys will get carried into deeper water by an ocean current or a fish or something. To do this, count the number of times the depth measurement increases from the previous measurement. There's no measurement before the first. So the example, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7's the answer. So we expect a 7. All right. So then, given our input, this shouldn't be too hard, right? I will want to take the lines and map them. And let's not do a map but a fold, and we'll start with 0, and we'll have n, and then 2 string at the end. Okay, whoops. So we need to return just n again at the end, right? So then, and this is mutable. Or actually, I don't know. Let's also accumulate the previous, which is none. I don't know, maybe I'm overcomplicating this. Previous. So, actually, it would be the depth. So, some depth. I'm probably overcomplicating this. let depth equal line dot trim. Do I need to trim it? I don't know. Parse as size. Actually, let's just use i64 to be safe. Unwrap that, and if let sum previous equal actually this needs to be dot previous, else then actually we don't need an else. If depth, is it when it's greater than, yeah, if depth is greater than previous, then n plus equal 1. Right? And right, I need to do that first part. I don't need the second part anymore. Run our test. It panicked. Integer position. What did I do? Hold on, what did I do? Did it not like my backslashes? Hold on. Just because I'm paranoid, let's just do this. And run again. Okay, yeah, so that backslash thing, I don't know what I did. So let's get our input. Oh, it's a lot of input. And run 1. 1,759 depth increases. Hey, what was my time? I don't know. 5 minutes, 48 seconds. Took 3 minutes just to read the text? Yeah, so how long did it take me to actually solve it then? 2 minutes and 40 some odd seconds? I can't read chat. I need to get to part 2, right? I'm semi-speed running this. Part 2, considering every single measurement isn't as useful as you expected. There's just too much noise. Instead, consider the sums of a 3-measurement sliding window. Again, considering the above example. A, B, C, B, C, D, E. Oh, I see. So these are just the samples. Start by comparing the first and second 3-measurement windows. The measurements in the first window are marked. Oh, these first 3. Their sum is 607. Second window is marked. Right, their sum is something else. To count the number of times the sum of measurements in the sliding window increases. I think I can use the window function for this. So what's the answer we're supposed to get? 5 instead of 7, but with the same input, right? It's the same input, I think. Okay. So actually doesn't look too bad for a solution I did really quick. Paste that. Paste that. You know, maybe I should learn Vim. I have such bad habits. I have such bad habits with my bizarre keyboard mouse combination. Anyway, I want to window these rather than folding them directly, right? So it's window. I forget. I'm allowed to look things up, right? I thought it was called window. Is it array windows? What is it? No, it's just called windows. Windows is... Oh, of a slice? So I have to put them into an array? Collect into what? An array of... strings, I guess. Can I... Oh, I guess vector strings, since we need to own it. How come it's not letting me do collect here? Oh, because I don't actually own them. That makes sense. All right, so then Windows, and then that it gives me an iterator, correct? A size 3. Okay, and then each time I get a slice of 3 out of it, right? So then that I fold, and I get... this is going to be the previous sum, right? So instead of an n here... No, instead of a previous, I get... instead of a line, I get lines, right? That's an array of 3. Or a slice of 3. So then I need to first sum them. So there would be like lines dot into iter, I guess, and then trim, well, map line, trim it, parse it, unwrap it. Actually, we can just fold and sum them this way, right? Sum line, and we get sum plus trim that. Line dot trim. It probably tells me I can just do iter, yeah, not into iter. So then we get a depth, and it's the same thing. So this should just work, right? It passed. So then run it with the real input. 1,805. Easy peasy. Window function for the win. All right. I can actually see what my scores are, right? Stats. Or I can... This doesn't show me my stats. This shows everyone's stats, right? So there are 2,822. Oh, gateway timeout. I got back to here somehow. Stats, please. Can I click on this now? Oh, I'm not clicking on the right thing. How do I get the... I don't click on that to get it. How was it leaderboard and then... Yeah, there we go. Where are the times? I need to slow down. Slow my roll. These are the people who solved them already, but what are their times? Personal stats. Okay, okay. Here are my times. 5 minutes, and I spent like 3 minutes reading, right? And so then I'll probably spend a few more minutes reading. So I just should not read. That's the answer. But I want to see what the fastest... It's leaderboard and then what? How do I get to see the times? Oh, per day. There we go. I just need to slow down and read. I can slow down and read now because I'm not on the clock. When I'm doing the puzzle, I should not read. Gateway timeout. Wait a minute. 1 minute and 7 seconds? That's pretty dang fast. So how close am I? It took me 5 minutes. So I need to like not read. I could have gotten 100th place if I didn't read for 3 minutes, right? Compared to 35 seconds? Yeah, it is kind of slow. For part 1, day 1, that's pretty dang slow. Oh, no, that's both puzzles. That's both puzzles. The first puzzle, someone did it in 28 seconds. This is the guy who always does it. Or is this a gal? I don't know. So this person, like, always gets the top scores. Yeah. How do people do this in a minute? They have bits and pieces of tooling to solve things of different categories, and it's all a matter of picking up the right tools as fast as possible, linking them together, and pushing the input through it. So This person, I bet if you asked them and they're willing to tell you their secrets, they would tell you something like that. That they have an array of 100 different tools, and they have some automation setups so that they say, "Oh, that's problem category 37 with a little bit of extra thing from 85," and link the two together. Boom, there's the answer. And it takes 28 seconds to identify, link, and put the input through and get the output and copy paste. Or they probably don't even copy paste. They probably have automation to do all of that for them. Another way they could have done it, if you can just quickly identify categories of problems, they could have several different automation chains set up to just crank in the test input and see if the output matches, and then it can be almost completely automated that way. They could just pick the right tools and put them in the right order and let their automation do the work for them. Jonathan Paulson has YouTube streams of him solving them. So am I close? Is it just a matter of identifying the problem category and using automation to just like quickly narrow down the right chain of tooling to solve the problem, and then put the input through it and post the output? That's how I would do if I really wanted to solve it in 28 seconds. Yeah, so T.S. Joss is right. It takes 28 seconds to understand the puzzle. Once you understand the puzzle, your automation should solve it for you if you have everything set up right. That might work on the first problems, but not the latter. Yeah, but the latter ones probably they can do much faster just by breaking down the problem into steps and then using automation tools to like get steps calculated. I don't know. I'm kind of reaching here. Should try macro, create the AOC driver one. I'm not really interested in that because, I don't know, part of the fun for me is setting up my own tooling. So I have the main program here. I kind of like how clean it is. So like for day 2, all I need to do is this. Okay, it's not the best maybe. And then that, ready for day 2, right? And then I can even benchmark it because I set up benches for this. Although I need to update my benches because that doesn't exist anymore. Actually, we can just say practice becomes 1. And why doesn't a lot like 1, 1? Because that's P11. And then, yeah, I can just do cargo bench 1, 1 now. See how fast my solution is. I should fix my warnings too. So I had fun learning Criterion and setting this up. So I think if I used AOC driver or something like that, some of the fun would be taken away. You know? Have you switched to Rust 2021? Yes, I have. Look at that. Actually, this should be 2021. Thank you for having me check, because there was a typo there. So part 1 took 36 microseconds. Part 2 is probably going to take an infinitesimal longer to do the windowing, right? Do you have benchmarking to the macro? Oh, Plasma, are you the one that makes AOC driver? The one that Nightshade dude was talking about? Or is that a different one? Let me find the link again. It's way back in chat. Is this one? You talking about this one? Probably a different one. Maybe you both called it AOC driver. Oh, you made that one. Well, congrats. Nightshade dude has been promoting it. So there you go. I guess I can take a look. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, the part of the fun for me is to set up the scaffolding. Anyway, actually it's 3 times longer. So the windowing function does take up some time. Let me remove the warnings, because I shouldn't have warnings in my code, right? What is it not like about this? We never use dimension? Oh, yeah. That was from... that was... Actually, what was that from? Oh, yeah, this is all the keypad stuff from 2016. I just forgot to delete it all, right? So was that it? The warnings were just dead code? I would like to find out why a symbol \enter doesn't work here. Why doesn't that work? Because I thought that would, but maybe it's because I'm not trimming? Hold on. Because if I want to do it, I would do it like that, but why doesn't that work? Let me think about this. Does this put in a single space? And the problem is that they're not lines anymore. So if I really wanted to do that, I would need to split on a space, not do a lines, right? Yeah. So the other thing you guys suggested is to use the literal syntax, right? Get rid of my backslashes. And then, is that the syntax? This always looks weird to me, but I guess it makes sense. Okay, so that's better. And then if I really cared about how things lined up, I would do it that way, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so the problem before, again, was that a backslash, new line, and then all the white space up to that is replaced with a single space by the compiler. But since I'm using the lines function right here, it is expecting new lines, not spaces. So if I instead did a split on like a space, then it would have worked, right? In fact, I can try that now. It didn't work. Did I match up part 2 and part 2 correctly here? Huh, I thought that would work. I'm surprised. What did I do wrong here? Yeah, I do call trim in here somewhere, right in here. But somehow I didn't, like that split isn't working with, maybe this isn't the, maybe this doesn't function the way I thought it did. If it's all like that, does it work? Okay, so then maybe I'm wrong about what gets replaced, what that gets replaced by. Maybe it's multiple spaces, and so then how do you, I guess I could trim and then discard. Actually, I gotta map it, right, to string trim. And then like filter line where line length is greater than 0, something like that. It's probably a better way to do this. Actually, it's going to tell me, right? Length comparison to 0, use not empty. I started typing as empty and I didn't see it. Oh, there it is. Not empty, right? And it's probably going to tell me this could be a filter map, right? Or is it, no, a map and then a filter is, you can't replace it with a filter. Anyway, you get the idea. That should, it doesn't work. Did I run the right test? Yes, I did. What am I doing wrong? Chat, you probably know what I did wrong. Split white space. But this should have worked. Okay, I don't know why that didn't work. I think it's getting into too much minutia. That should work though, right? No, it still doesn't work. All right, I don't know. You know, it's somewhat interesting to me, but not enough for me to spend that much time on it. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Actually, we can put the whoops. We can do actually both of them at the same time this way. Hit enter, line it up a bit, put the markers in there. Ah, it messed up the Rust format. See, that's the thing. Rust formatter is going to mess with me so my alignment isn't right. So that's the weakness of doing it that way. So actually, I think I will keep it the way it was because then it's not as vulnerable to Rust formatter. You can do lines instead of splitting on space. Well, lines only works with new lines, right? But if there were spaces between lines, is not going to work. Can you just remove the backslash? I don't think so. Should we continue to hammer away at this? I can do a little bit. You're saying I can do that. I don't know if that'll work. No, it doesn't work. So... Oh, if we do that, then... Oh, sorry, and remove this. Sorry. This might work. Yeah, that does work. But it has the same problem as the literal string in that, like, Rust formatter's not lining it up for me. In fact, it's ignoring these intermediate lines completely, and that bothers me. I want Rust formatter to, like, participate in the formatting of every line, not just the first and last lines there. I'm picky, you know? Yeah, 71529. I finally understood what you meant. So yeah, it does work, but Rust formatter doesn't participate in those intermediate lines, which bothers me. Call me picky. Could I have done this without collecting? Windows needs a slice as an input. Lines gives me an iterator. I think I have to collect and own it. At least own the array, right? There's no way around that I can see. The fold, I did this really fast. I don't know if I need an option here. I use it for this if here. But another way I could cheat is have a flag. Well, I still have to have an if, right? Because well, no, I don't. I could take the first line off and make that seed this with that first line. But then I would have to take my parsing code and call it from two different places. I don't know. Would chat have any other suggestions for how to make this even better? Might be splitting hairs. I kind of don't like the dot zeros. That's an artifact of the fact that fold has this intermediate state. I guess I could get rid of that by taking it out of the accumulator and making it a mutable variable, and then I don't need the dot zero at the end. That's okay. You have windows, and then you added them. That's if you first parse them, right? So you do lines. Actually, I should have done it that way. No, yeah, that would make it better, right? So I could trim and parse, unwrap there. And then these are vectors of I64s. This has to become map stir trim. And this map I64 parse. Is that the right syntax? And the unwrap needs to be in there. Let's just do map line.parse unwrap. And then these are not really lines anymore. These are like, whoops, wrong key. Depths. Fold can be written more succinctly using, oh, it's probably going to just say sum. Yeah, just sum, right? And what did I do wrong here? Oh, it needs to know the types? Really? It doesn't know the type of depth. Why doesn't it know the type of that? That's weird. It doesn't know the type of... Okay, why does it need me to tell it the type of depth? All right. Anyway, this is a little bit of an improvement, although that needing to annotate the type there was weird. Why did it need me to say that? Is it because some can work with other types? No? Yeah, why is that required? Some is generic, but shouldn't it be able to infer the type from the iterator type? Like, it knows the T. Shouldn't that carry into the sum here? The item? Shouldn't it know that that's I64? Yeah. I'm at a loss. Why does it not know the type of depth here? Actually, let's just turn on inlay hints, even though I find them annoying. Is it because there's an error now? Why are my inlay hints not working? I broke it, chat. Inlay hints are not working. Oh well, inlay hints don't want to work today. You can replace your fold with a map, then filter. Oh, this fold? With a map, and then filter. Well, this fold is because I am accumulating this n, right? Actually, one improvement I could make here... I was going to say, I could just say let n equal, but it's not really an improvement, right? Because then I have to have a whole bunch of else's. So that's not really anything better. That looks a little bit ugly. Okay, and then I even did this wrong. Yeah, never mind. I don't know what I did wrong there, but hey there, Codal's the end. How are you doing? Is this an advent of Code Train? I'm just analyzing my day one results. I'm not a speedrunner. I hope you guys are enjoying Advent of Code, though. The speedrunners did the first puzzle today in 28 seconds and did the combination of the two in a minute and 7 seconds. It took me 5 minutes and 44 seconds for part one, and then, what is that? Another 5 minutes and a little bit to do part two. And as chat noted, 3 of those 5 3/4 minutes were just me reading the puzzle. So yeah, I'm not a speed coder, but I hope you guys are enjoying the Advent of Code. If you don't know what Advent of Code is, you probably already do, but I have a command, so I might as well use it. It's a calendar of puzzles that you solve with writing programs, and you can use any programming language you want, and there's going to be a new puzzle every day from the 1st of December to the 25th, kind of like Advent. And the next puzzle is going to unlock in a little bit under 23 and a half hours from now. And the puzzles usually start really simple and they get progressively harder and harder. I did all the ones from 2020, 2019. I got stuck around day 20 or so, and then I kind of gave up. Not here for speed, here because of the need for AOC. I gotcha. Well, I hope everybody's having a good day or evening. Yeah, so we're just looking at my solution and just like picking it apart and seeing what we can do. For you, part 1 was 8 minutes because your stupidity in part 2 was 11 minutes. So you caught up. That's good. Can I show the private leaderboard? Because C17 hours probably on it. Oh. I'm not number 1 even on the private leaderboard. Can I see your score? I don't think I can. See if the Primogens guys are still doing it. I'm mid-range in there. So on these private leaderboards, I think the number of points, I'm not sure what it's based on, but it is ranked in speed order again, right? It would be cool if there was a way for you to, without cheating, be able to tell the site when you actually started working on the problem, so that if you had some commitment, you couldn't start it when the puzzle unlocked, you could just like swear an affidavit or something, or have some way to like not see the puzzle. The moment you start seeing the puzzle, then the clock would start for you. That would be cool. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that because people cheat. Points is equal to the number of people. Oh, and distributed between the people who solved it, I guess. Which one's Larry? Oh, the number of people in the group, yeah. A browser extension to track your own times at the time you open. Oh, that's cool. I was just thinking of just keeping a stopwatch or like using my phone to track it on those days that I can't start when it unlocks. What's a leaderboard code? The leaderboard code. What do you mean? The one from Endor. He posted it in my Discord. That's why I felt it was okay showing it. Yeah, it's this. Did you get the code correct? I think Andoran, since he posted it in my Discord, I think he's okay with people knowing it, so you can join in if you want. And I already leaked the Primogens one, but that was posted publicly last year, so I figure it's okay. Yeah, so what were we saying about this code here? That I can get rid of the fold by doing a map and a filter? I didn't quite understand that. Let me scroll back and see what you said. So Plasma said you can replace the fold with a map and then a filter after a collect. And you said see above. Oh, I see. You had windows like I did. Then map. Basically, you did the sum. You just added them directly. Then you collected them back into the sums. Oh, and then you did a filter of 2, a window of 2, and filtered if they're greater. Oh, that's smart. Yeah. I didn't think of that. Let's give Plasma some points because that's pretty brilliant. Points. Plasma. 3 points. It's a sneaky way for me to test that my bot still works, by the way. Which leaderboard code is for the Primogen? It's probably okay since, yeah, again, he posted it last year, so that's the code for Primogen's leaderboard. Let's see if he plays it this year. Looks like he didn't do it tonight. All right, anyway. Okay, so yeah, your brilliant solution was instead of doing a fold, we just we have to do the summing here, so I can do that with a map, right? Depths, iter sum, and then windows 2, and then map, filter map. And then you did a count at the end, probably, right? Did you just do a count? So it would just be, this is like depths again. Depths 0, 1 is greater than depths. Or actually, these are slices, right? Oh, and I do need to do a collect at some point, right? Because this thing wants slices, so I gotta collect the vector of 64s again. Something like that, and then count to string, probably. That's pretty hardcore. Okay, what did I get wrong here? Wait, it's an option? It's not an option. Why is it expecting an option? Oh, because I need to say, I don't even need a map. Don't I just filter and then count them? Yeah, isn't that all I need to do? Let's see. Yeah, that's all we need to do. Do I get the same? Just a double check. I did the wrong thing there. I don't want to bench it. I want to run it. See if I get the same answer. 1805, was that the answer I got? 1805, yeah. So I didn't need a map at all at the end. I just needed to count with filter. Is that what you had said? Again, I need to scroll up. Oh, no, you did just do a filter and then a count. So I ended up doing what you did. I was on purpose trying not to read all of your code. I read up to where you said totals.windows 2, and I'm like, I think I can figure the rest out. Okay, so that's pretty much what you did, except for instead of doing a sum, you literally did like 0 plus 1 plus 2. Gotcha. Yeah. This is a pretty hardcore answer, though. What was it? Musen, right? Musen is a fan of trying to make solutions that are just method chaining, and this would be this would fit his requirement. Yeah, if only Windows could operate on an iterator, then we wouldn't need these collects. These collects are kind of gross because this means we're going to be allocating memory on the heap to store it. So we're storing it all. We're iterating this chain of iterators, and then actually consuming it to make a vector. And then with that, we're making another iteration, and then consuming that, and then iterating it again and counting the results. So like if someone's, there's probably people watching now who don't have a clue what this does. So if I were to like sort of annotate this, we say start with our input, which is a bunch of lines, which is a bunch of characters, and we say split it into lines, into an iterator of lines. Remove any spaces at the front, back of the line, of each line. So whenever you see map, that means like to apply a translation for everything in the sequence, but otherwise like the same number of inputs gives you the same number of outputs. It's just that for each input you apply a function to it. And then same thing with the second map. So like I could combine these two maps by doing line and then line trim and then parse. But it's kind of nice, I think, to split them out this way because then I can comment them separately. Convert each line from a string to a number, and then store all the numbers in a vector, and then apply a windowing function of size 3. And so what is a windowing function of size 3? They have in a code described it very well. This is the windowing. So given this sequence, 199, 200, 208, a window of 3 would give you these 3 as the first iterator output, and then these 3 for the second iterator output, and then these 3 for the third, etc. So it gives you the A's, the B's, the C's, the D's, the E's, F, G's. That's what the windowing function does, which is why it was such an elegant solution, because they were basically asking for that, right? So apply the size. So what this gives you is instead of a vector of numbers, you get a vector of triples of numbers, and then add for each triple, add them up, and then again store the sums in a vector, and then apply a windowing function of size 2 on that. And then this is discard any groups where the actually the other way to say it is we keep only groups where the second number is greater than the first, because this was the key element of the puzzle where they said that it has to increase. Count the number of times that it increases. So that's what this means. So finally, count them and convert the answer to a string, because that's just the format that I had picked on. So if I was teaching this, that's what I would do, because just having this solid wall without the comments, a solid wall of chained functions, is really hard for a beginner to read. But if you comment them and you tell them, look at it like an assembly line, the data is flowing through the assembly line. At some points we collect them all, but at other times it just kind of goes through where we do one step after another to go input to intermediate to output. Then as long as you know what each step along the assembly line is doing, I think it makes more sense. Let me catch up with chat. Replace Windows with array windows for performance. Is there an array windows? Slice array windows? But that's an experimental API. We can't use that. If I tried to use that, I'd get a warning unless I use the nightly build, right? Yeah, unstable. I try to avoid unstable because it might change. That's what unstable means. Because I just get really confused if something I got into the habit of using just changed under me because they thought it was better a different way. Trim is basically a function, some map. Wait, my chat is scrolling. Why are you scrolling so fast, chat? Trim is basically a function, some map function just calls, yeah. That looks weird. That looks different than that because what map does is map requires a function. There are a couple ways to express a function. You can just say the function name, and this str : in front is just because trim lives in a module called str in the standard library. So as long as the function signature matches exactly what map wants, in this case it does, you can just put the function straight in there. But if they don't quite match, like this one, then this form of functions called a lambda expression or a lambda function or a closure, lots of ways to say it, but here's where you express the input parameters to match the signature of what map wants, and then you do your thing and you just make it so that it outputs what map wants. But in the middle you can do whatever you want, so you can call the functions. I could have a little mini program in here or whatever. Yet another way would be I could construct a function outside, like let my func equal I could do stuff like this. That works too. Only if we declare it up here before we use it, we have to say what this is. But it still works, right? And yet another way to do it would be to say function my func, where it takes a line, which is a borrowed string, and then this is the more formal way to do it, right? All of that should work if I did this right. Oh, I need to say what the return value is here. I64. Benefit of doing it this way is now that we're required to say the type here, we don't have to say it here, which is kind of cool. So lots of different ways you can do it in Rust. What if you do two mess, one with parse, the second one with unwrap? You could do that, but I kind of don't like that because that makes this intermediate type kind of weird. But yeah, I'll show you what it would look like. I'm just hitting undo a bunch of times. Okay. So what Endurin is saying is we just kind of split this into two pieces, where we do that. And then this is no longer really a line. It's either a line or an error. And then line or error, unwrap it, right? And then this is try to convert. And this is make sure that it really was a number, otherwise panic. And if you mouse over this, the type is complex. It's a result where it's either an integer or it was an integer parsing error. So sure, we could do that, and then I guess we can reduce this one down, or actually this can be reduced to result unwrap, right? Because it can figure out the types for result, and then I think we can reduce this one too. Is that string slice parse? Can I just do that without saying the type, or am I going to get in trouble about the type? No, that works. So we can do that. I thought for sure that it would get mad at me about not saying the type, but I think because we say the type here, it figures it out. So Plasma says lines, map trim, map part. See, we were able to do it without the turbo fish, Plasma. Filter map. Why do you have a filter map? Oh, because I opted to just panic if it didn't. So your filter map, yeah, so what Plasma put in there as an alternative filter map result, okay. That works too. What that does is it is instead of panicking, so here are the alternatives, right? Make sure that it was really number, otherwise forget it. Or, you know, drop it from the iteration. So this is more forgiving. It would silently discard bad lines of input, whereas this way says, oh, wait a minute, that's bad input. So I opted for this because then I would have gotten an early sign that I'm doing something wrong. This might be okay. This is probably what you'd want to do in a production system where you don't trust your input. But even then, I might want to, like, inside of here, check to see if it's not okay, then maybe log an error. Say, hey, we're going to discard this input, but it was bad, so you might want to check. Personally, I would combine all that into one filter map. Yeah, so I'm just splitting it out to show that you can. I had combined a few of them like this, right? This is how I had chosen to do it, because in my mind, these are logically different operations. First, split them into lines, and then for each line, trim it, and then for each trimmed line, convert it to a number, then collect the number. So each one is like doing logically different thing. So it made sense to me. But yeah, we could combine the trim with the parse if we wanted, right? No big deal. It would just be trim, parse, and then don't need to do that. So this seemed like it was doing two things in my mind. First, removing white space, then converting it to a number. But yeah, there are like a billion ways you could split this problem. How can we solve it without collecting? I think it would be hard because Windows expects a slice. So that means we need to arrange the numbers contiguously in memory, but they're not contiguous to start with. They have these new lines and spaces between them, so I think it would be really hard. Also, we're converting them to numbers. So I don't know how to do it unless we were to make a different kind of window function that knows that we're starting with strings in new lines, and it could kind of internally keep track of where each number started with and then window over those. Not using Windows exactly, Windows map. So now we're trying to combine the windows together, right? Some neat info about function items. Thank you for that, A squared. Yeah, the parsing is creating some new data from the old. To do it without collecting, we have to operate on the input in place, right? Or we have some scratch space like arranged ahead of time that we can use. But yeah, this is basically, whenever you have to collect or use a vector, you're basically giving up and saying, okay, we need to create something new on the heap and then start over. From there, we start over and we window through that. And we get the sums, and oh shoot, that's new data again, so we got to collect and window that again. You could probably remove this collect by, there's probably a way to combine these two windows together, right? I just can't think of it now. Because if you do the summing at the same time you do these comparisons, then you don't need to have this intermediate collection. We're only collecting here so that we can do away with the summing, and then after doing the summing, we're doing the comparisons. But if you do them at the same time, you wouldn't need this intermediate collection. Anyway, I think we've picked this apart to death. I'll leave it in that state. So, hope you enjoyed day 1. Be back today or tomorrow for day 2. Day 3, I can't be here, so I'll be doing day 3 and 4 together probably on Friday. Let's see, is someone else working on admin the code still that we can go raid? I don't see anyone else I know doing admin the code still. I know. The alarm goes in 7 minutes? Oh wait, what does that mean, Endurin? Should I BS for 7 minutes and then raid you? Are you gonna start streaming? Larry NY is the only one you see. He's probably done though. Yeah, I expect everyone's probably done by now. I mean, it only took 10-15 minutes and we're 54 minutes in now. You have to wake up in 7 minutes for work. Hey, Endurin, I've heard that you can do day 1 puzzle in 7 minutes. So what if you wake up now, we could raid you, and then we can see you solve this in 7 minutes. How about it? No? I think we're probably done with admin the code for tonight. How about we raid Strager, because he's always fun to chill. Ask him code advice, help. Why not? Let me set this up so we will raid Strager. That's weird. I can't see my chat while I'm doing this raid. Okay. I don't like this raid thing because I can't see my chat while we're doing it. I could look at the other chat window though. All right, yeah. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow. So get ready for day 2, part 1 and 2 tomorrow. See ya, bye.